Hello, Rochester. I'm Dr. Josh Mack, educator, advocate, and proud member of this community. Today, I want to speak directly to you about one of the biggest changes we've seen in New York State education in decades. A change that directly affects how students graduate from high school and what that diploma really means. As of the most recent announcement, the New York State Department of Education will begin phasing out mandatory Regents exams starting in the fall of 2027. Yes, you heard it right. Students will no longer need to pass 5 Regents exams to earn their high school diploma. Instead, they'll demonstrate readiness through something called a portrait of a graduate. Portrait of a graduate. But this change, it's personal for me because it's connected to a fight I started nearly 10 years ago. Let's go back to 2015. That's the year I filed a formal complaint with the New York State Department of Education. I argued that Regents testing model had a disparate impact on students with disabilities, English language learners, and many students from historically marginalized backgrounds. And I had the data to prove it, 10 years worth. At the time, students were required to pass 5 Regents exams, including 2 social studies to graduate, and this rigid requirement was widening disparities, increasing dropout rates, incarceration, and unemployment for vulnerable students. But I didn't just highlight the problem, I offered clear research-based solutions. Here's what I proposed to the State Board of Regents and policymakers. 1. Create an alternative work readiness diploma path, one that prepares students for trade schools, adult education, the military, or the workforce, not just college. 2. Develop a strong CTE graduation pathway. At the time, only 3% of graduates earned a diploma with a career and technical education endorsement. This had to change. 3. Eliminate the social studies Regents exam requirement. Why? Because it reflected a Eurocentric curriculum and was not even a predictor of college or career success. Instead, I recommended the U.S. citizenship exam, or a more practical, culturally relevant assessment. Or reinstate Regents competency tests for students with disabilities. These tests would allow students with IEPs to earn a local diploma, whether or not they pass traditional Regents exams. Much to my surprise, the state actually listened. In 2017, the state introduced the 4+1 graduation pathway and later the CDOS credential, which allows students to replace a social studies Regents with a career development assessment. But despite these small wins, graduation improvements were still minimal. The system remained broken. So when the Blue Ribbon Commission on Graduation Measures was formed in 2019, I saw it as a golden opportunity. I was honored to be appointed to the commission, and I worked alongside some brilliant minds. Together, we pushed to make career readiness and equity a priority. But when the pandemic hit, I chose not to return to the commission because I needed to focus on completing my doctoral degree. Still, I remain committed to the cause, and now that work has paid off. So what's replacing the Regents exam? A new model called the Portrait of a Graduate. This framework is based on 6 core competencies. 1. Critical thinking and problem solving. 2. Collaboration and communication. 3. Civic and cultural competency. 4. Digital literacy. 5. Innovation and creativity. And 6. Lifelong learning and growth mindset. These are the skills that really matter, and in the workplace, in life, and in our communities. And here in Rochester, this is a huge step forward. Why? Because our students excel in hands-on, project-based, real-world learning. And now those skills will actually count. With this change, students can graduate through career and technical education, CDOS credentials, internships, capstone projects, or even performance-based assessments. No more one-size-fits-all testing. Here's what you need to know. In fall 2027, Regents exams will no longer be required. That school year, the first 9th grade class will start under the new graduation model. By 2030, all students in New York will graduate based on this new approach. So here's my message to Rochester families, educators, and community leaders. This didn't happen by accident. It happened because we spoke up. And now we must show up to make sure this system is implemented equitably. So what can you do? Ask your school how they're preparing for the new graduation requirements. Support strong CTE, CDOS, and alternative pathway programs. Encourage your child to explore hands-on career-focused learning. Drop the thoughts in the comments. Like this video if you believe every student deserves a path to success. Subscribe to Education Insights Daily for more updates and education insights. Check the description for links to the full report, resources, and my original 2015 complaint. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Dr. Josh Mack. Nearly a decade ago, I challenged the graduation system with data, research, and heart. Today, we're building a better one. When we rethink graduation, we reimagine opportunity for Rochester and beyond. See you next time.